Okay, nice. Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for joining this session. My name is Julia Grzybowska, I'm Polish, and I know Przemek, and I'm delighted here today to represent European Climate Pact. That's kind of like educational body from the European Commission that deals with climate education, basically. So today we will talk about AI, we'll talk about climate. Our topic is urgent and also a bit inspiring, I think. So how AI a technology often associated with like futuristic robots, science fiction, or something like that, can in fact help us tackle one of the greatest challenges, so the climate change. So I will show you very concrete ways in which AI is already helping us, as well as its potential for the future, as well with some problems and solutions as well. So, basically, what if AI could help us save the planet? So let's start with the problem. What is the problem when we talk about climate change? We are talking about rising CO2 levels. We are talking about global warming, so the temperature going up. We are talking about deforestation, like smaller amount of forest right now, pollution. We are talking about air pollution, also water pollution, frequent extreme weather events, and those are only few challenges that we all know that dominate the headlines and affect our daily lives. And in the same time, AI is usually imagined as kind of for now like robots or smart assistants, something like that, or self-driving cars or buses or something like that. But what if the same technology could also help us save the planet? So the truth is, it already can. AI is a very powerful tool that can support the climate action. And also climate solutions by, for example, analyzing amounts of data very quickly, making some predictions, optimizing processes. So instead of replacing humans, we are kind of making AI becoming a partner for building sustainable solutions. So the global emissions and the role of technology, talking about that, to understand where AI can make the biggest difference, let's firstly look at the sources of emissions. So the main contributors to greenhouse gases are energy production, transport, industry, and agriculture. So these are all very complex systems, so also very, very complex problems that we cannot change overnight. But technology gives us leverage. So by integrating AI into those sectors, we can optimize how we use the resources, how we can reduce waste, for example, or how we can just fasten some processes. So kind of AI is the strategic enabler in here of the green transition. So that's basically where AI can make the biggest difference. So what is AI? Talking a bit like about the wider picture. So in very simple terms, artificial intelligence refers to machines or systems that perform tasks which normally require human intelligence. So we are talking about recognizing patterns, learning from experience, or for example, making decisions. So it's powered by methods like you can see those here: machine learning or neural networks and natural language processing. And the reason that AI can be so powerful when it comes to the climate action is that AI can actually analyze very quickly massive data sets that are far too complex for humans to handle on their own, or it takes a very, very long time. So imagine just like billions of data points from satellites, weather stations, or smart meters. AI can find very quickly patterns, generate forecasts for the future, and suggest solutions within seconds. So how AI helps in climate action? So for now, we already AI is already helping us in very like many dimensions of climate action. It improves climate models, makes weather forecasting much faster and also much more accurate. It makes the energy systems much more efficient, and I will talk about that on the next slides. So starting from monitoring and prediction, I already mentioned that a bit. So AI is a complete game changer when it comes to climate modeling. So, for example, there is a tool, DeepMind, has shown how AI can significantly improve short-term weather forecasting. So governments can respond much more effectively, much more quickly to, for example, floods. That's a massive problem in Poland, heat waves or storms that are happening all around the world right now due to the rising temperatures and climate change. So AI also makes the long-term climate models much more precise. So it's giving us better projections, for example, of how the sea level will rise or how the temperature will increase. So having accurate predictions basically can help save like to save lives, helps also communities to prepare, and then just politics can be kind of smarter because it can create smarter policies. Going a bit further to energy efficiency, so energy is basically the heart of the climate change. In Poland, specifically when we're talking about coal, about mining, we need to talk also about energy efficiency and also renewable energy. About renewable energy, I will tell more about that in a second. About energy efficiency. So AI here helps balance supply and demand in the smart grids. So it's much easier to integrate the renewable sources, for example, like wind or solar panels, like the solar energy coming from solar panels. In buildings, for example, AI can automatically adjust heating or cooling and lighting to cut energy waste. So AI can just think and decide when there is a big need for example, some heat wave or some like big such like taking the temperature down a bit. For industry, some companies such as I think Siemens are using AI to monitor and also optimize factory energy use in real time. So it's both like saving and also lower emissions for the company as well. So we can imagine kind of like the perfect world where every factory, every office, every house, or even the shopping malls are using AI to cut its energy usage. So the potential impact is huge. Further, we're talking about renewable energy as well. So we are talking about solving like one of the biggest problems when it comes to renewable energy, the variability. So you know that when we produce energy from solar, like the solar energy and wind energy, we don't produce it all the time in the same amount every hour because the sun can be stronger, the sun can be lighter, it can the wind can be harder or not that hard. So then AI helps in how to forecast better of the renewable energy production so that the grid operators know exactly when to expect, for example, a spike or a drop into the supply. And it's also really important as well. So it helps optimizing where to place the solar panels, for example, or how to adjust the wind turbine so it will be much more efficient. Then we are talking about agriculture. Agriculture basically is one of the most important sectors that we are basically taking the food from. But also agriculture is one of the major emitters as well. AI here creates a lot of opportunities. So, for example, if precision farming uses AI to analyze the soil conditions, whether the crop is healthy, for example, or how much water is used, so farmers can use much more fewer chemicals and less water while maintaining or even increasing the yields. And also here we are using the drones and sensors to collect real-time data from the fields, allowing farmers to act quickly and basically reduce waste. So it's not only about making like lowering the emissions, but also making the food systems much more resilient to climate change. Going a bit further, we are talking about deforestation and biodiversity. So, um, protection of the forests and protection of the biodiversity is extremely important fact, like part of the climate action. So, with AI, satellite imagery can be analyzed to detect illegal deforestation, for example, almost in real time. Governments and NGOs can they then take action much faster. AI, for example, also can help the wildlife protection by identifying species, camera trap photos, or monitoring migration patterns. I think Huawei had that project where they just placed some some, for example, like camera traps, and they were identifying the species around the forest. Going further, we are talking also about circular economy. So, kind of economy where the waste becomes a resource. So, for example, AI-powered robots can identify or sort materials in recycling plants much more effectively than humans. AI also helps with logistics, for example, for waste collection, with recycling, reducing, for example, unnecessary trips and emissions. So that's also very, very important. Then we are talking, of course, about climate education and awareness. I'm always saying that climate education is basically the clue for the climate action. Without education, basically you cannot do nothing, because even if we do the best action, the people will not understand why we are doing those actions. So education is the clue. And in here, AI can help a lot in the climate education as well and raising the awareness. So climate action is not only about technology, but here about people. So we can engage citizens in new ways. We can, for example, create chatbots that can provide some very personalized eco education, or simulation games, for example, that can let people explore possible climate features. For example, some AI based apps that help track our carbon footprint, and many, many more. Those are only some of the examples how we can use the AI in the climate education field. Then we are talking also about carbon emission reduction. So it's kind of like AI can also help with emission reduction on a very systematic level, let's say so. Cities and companies use AI to track emissions more accurately, how to design strategies for for reducing the emissions as well. So in transport, AI can optimize, for example, traffic flows, reduce congestion, and cut some fuel consumption. We can, for example, synchronize the traffic lights with AI. So a city can decide that when there is a bigger traffic, you can just change the light to the green, like to the green one. We do not need to stop the flow from coming. So here I wanted to tell you a bit also about their like real world AI projects for climate that are like the most interesting in my opinion. First of them is advanced weather forecasting. That's Weather Next, where that's the platform that offers very advanced weather forecasting models that are open for research and decision making. So it's basically it's live forecast 4 times per day using historical data as well, very accessible for research, analysis, and as I said, the decision making. So that's one of them. Going further, we are talking also about the Microsoft AI for Earth. So it's a $50 million initiative that partners with a lot of NGOs, the non-governmental organizations, of course, and researchers around the globe to apply the AI to environmental problems. So it basically it's tackling some of the world's most intractable problems by like using the power of AI and the machine learning as well. And then we are also talking about IBM Green Horizons that can help cities and industries track air pollution and take action against it. Here you can see the screenshot of the panel. You can take a look at the on the environment, the traffic, the power generation as well. And the government is enabled to like to better understand and improve the relationship with the environment by taking a look whether it's polluting or sustainable. Then we are talking also about, for example, Climeworks and AI that provides very, very high technology carbon removal solutions for businesses and also individuals who are committed to positive climate action. So it's basically optimizing direct air capture technology, removing CO2 from the atmosphere. So those projects are not just theoretical, they are really happening and being implemented all around the world. When talking about AI, it's also important to talk about ethics. basically, and being responsible with that, because we need to remember that AI also raises important questions. So, training large AI models consumes huge amounts of energy, and that's why we need like data centers powered by renewable energy. There is also the issue of the algorithmic bias. So, if AI is used in decision making, we must ensure that it's fair, it's transparent, accountable, etc. So, like responsible governance frameworks are essential, very important for building public trust and making sure that AI truly benefits the society and the planet, and that people understand that. Going further, we also should talk a bit about the challenges and the limitations, because it all sounds very positive without any problems, and just like AI can help us save the world. But we need to remember that we have limitations, we have risks around privacy, the surveillance, for example, the potential for biased algorithms, also the dependence on the high quality open data. So without the reliable data, AI cannot really function properly. So while AI is very powerful, we need to address these risks and challenges to unlock its full potential. We need to remember that there are still some risks with using the AI. Going further, to talk a bit about the future of AI in climate action, I'm talking a lot, so I wanted to ask you. I hope I can hear you. If you say something, we'll check that in a second. What do you think? What will be the future of AI in climate action? Do you have like your point of view how that can look like? Anyone? Do you have some ideas how that can look like? Okay, so, looking to the future, basically AI can strengthen a lot climate policy and basically the level of climate policy all around the world by providing some data-driven insights. It can, for example, enable like citizen science, also where sort of like usual ordinary people collect and analyze environmental data through AI-powered apps. So it's like much more available for everyone. Of course, it will require a lot of collaboration between government, tech companies, researchers, civil society as well. But that's a good possibility. The climate. We need to remember that the climate crisis is too big for just one person or just one actor to solve it alone. So we cannot depend only on the politicians or only on the like big business to just tackle the climate change. We need to remember that we need to work all together, and in order to do that, mm, uh, I wanted also to let you know like what each and every one of us can do. So we can support like open climate data initiatives which make information much more accessible to researchers, to innovators. We can, for example, engage with citizen science project if we are interested in those topics, using apps that allow us to, for example, measure air quality or track our own carbon footprint. There is also a lot of, for example, hackathons that are looking for some climate solutions, where you can just kind of create a startup and get the funding for the startup that solves some of the problems with climate change. And we can also like encourage the companies, the policymakers, in a way that we can to adapt AI responsibility, but also for sustainability. So I wanted also to for you to remember that AI is only a tool. The humans drive the change. So AI will not do all the work for us. It's just a tool that will help us and can be a very good partner if we know how to use that. So a bit of the conclusion, AI is not just a silver bullet, it's a very powerful ally. So combined with the human like creativity, innovation, determination, AI can really help us accelerate sustainable solutions and also respond to climate crisis much more effectively. So let us use the technologies, like the technology, not just to imagine a better future, but also to protect it together.